Okay, so in this particular lecture, we will be talking about differentiability. Differentiability. So, before learning differentiability, we need to understand what is derivative of a function. Okay. So, let us first understand that. So, derivative of function is given as d dx of fx. The derivative of function with respect to x, okay, is given as d dx of fx or f dash x or f1x. Okay, now basically whatever the independent variable you have in the function, you basically differentiate that function with respect to that variable. If you have a multivariable function, for example, if you have a function like f of xy is equals to suppose 3x square plus 4xy plus 5y square, this is a multivariable function. It has two variables, two independent variables. So you can differentiate function both with respect to x as well as with respect to y. That sort of differentiation is known as partial differentiation. That is a bit advanced topic. We are not going to talk about that. We are just going to talk about simple differentiation of single variable functions. Okay, single variable functions. So either the variable basically has one single independent, the function basically has one single independent variable. It may be anything. So generally we are going to talk about a function which has its independent variable as x, and we are going to differentiate that function with respect to x. So what is the significance of derivative? First let us understand that. So significance of derivative, significance of derivative. So suppose we have a function y equals to fx given like this. Okay, let me draw it in a different color. So we have a function y equals to uh, fx given like this, and we choose 2 points on this particular graph. Suppose this point and this point, where this is x equals to a and this is x equals to b, while this one will be your fa, and similarly this will be your fb. Okay, now suppose I join the 2 points like this with a straight line. I join the 2 points with a straight line and I name the straight line AB. Okay, now what is the slope of this line AB? So let that particular slope be given as, say, m. So what will be the slope of this variable AB? The slope of this variable AB will be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, right? Now here we will do a trick. What we will be doing, let's see. See, let us say that the difference between the point x equal to and x equal to b be h. Okay, so basically from here we can say that b is equals to a plus h. Okay, b is equals to a plus h. Now at x equals to a, we have the function fx equals to fa, and at x equals to b, we have fx equals to fb, and now we can write it as f of a plus h. Now if I consider the 2 points a fa and a plus h f plus h, or b f a plus f of a plus h, then this is your y2, this is your y1, this is your x2, this is your x1. Then you can say that m is equals to f of a plus h minus f of a over, we are writing b as a plus h. So this is a plus h minus a, which is f of a plus h minus f of a over h. This is your slope. Now suppose we do one thing. Now what we do is that we set a limit. We set a limit h tends to 0. That is which basically means that the difference between A and B tends to 0 or shortens to vanish, making A and B a single coinciding point. I mean that if this difference decreases, then this point A and this point B, they tend to come closer to each other and they coincide to a single point. When A and B coincides to a single point, this line, basically this line is known as the secant line. This line shifts downwards and forms a line which touches the curve at a single point, right? This line which was till now which was connecting the points A and B, when A and B coincide to one single point, the secant line shifts downwards and becomes a line which touches the curve at one single point and not two different points. When the secant line gets transformed into such a line which touches the curve at one single point, the secant line gets converted to a tangent line, and we can say that the slope of the tangent line is given by limit h tends to 0 m, that is limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h minus f of a over h. This slope of the tangent line is basically known as the derivative of the function fx at x equal to a. Okay guys, got it? Basically if you have a function, if, okay, let me not write as if, so suppose you have a function fx and you find the derivative of the function f dash x at x equals to a, and this is given as limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h minus f of a over h. This is the basic statement to understand derivative. Now we generally don't mention the point at which we are finding derivative, so generally you can write that f dash x is equals to limit h tends to 0 f of x plus h minus f of x over h. This thing basically denotes that you can find the derivative at all possible x values. Got it guys? Okay guys, so now, as we have understood derivative, now we will be understanding that what is the concept of differentiability. Okay, differentiability. So differentiability is basically understanding the condition if f dash x exists at x equals to some x naught, okay, or not. Understood guys? Suppose I say that a function is differentiable at x equals to x naught. Now how can I say that particular thing? Or if I say that a function is not differentiable, or we cannot find the slope of a tangent of a particular curve y equals to fx at x equals to a, how can I say so? There must be some condition, right? So the study of that condition is known as differentiability. Okay, now already we have learnt about limit, and we have learnt about something which is known as the existence of limit, right? Existence of limit. So we can pretty easily conclude that for this structure to exist, that is for f dash x to exist at x equals to a, limit h tends to 0 f of a plus h minus f of a over h must exist. That is, limit h tends to 0 minus f of a plus h minus f of a over h must be equals to limit h tends to 0 plus f of a plus h minus f of a over h. That is, the left hand limit must equal the right hand limit, right? Here the left hand limit is known as the left hand derivative and the right hand limit is known as the right hand derivative. So you need to just make sure that this limit exists by equating the left hand and the right hand limit. Okay, if so, basically showing the existence of these limits are exactly same as you show the existence of limits normally. Okay, just make sure that if you have a piecewise function given, then when you will be finding the left hand derivative, you will be using the left hand function, and when you will be finding the right hand derivative, you will be evaluating through the right hand function. Okay, suppose you have a function fx equals to, say you have 2x. Okay, you have 2x when x is, say, less than 2, and you have x square and x is greater than equal to 2. Okay, you have this. Now one thing you can see here, that this function is continuous, right? Your left hand limit is 2 times 2, that is 4. Your right hand limit is 2 square, that is 4, and your f of 2 is also 4. So this function is continuous. Now how can you show that this function is differentiable? So you need to first use the first principle using this function, then you need to use the first principle, this formula. This thing is known as the first principle. Okay, so then you need to evaluate the first principle using this formula. This will be your left hand derivative, this will be your right hand derivative. If the two values after evaluating the first principle equals, then you have the derivative to exist at the point x equals to 2. Got it, guys? Now when you will be learning the formulas of derivative, you can pretty easily conclude this from here directly. Okay, so this is all about differentiability. One more thing to keep in note, guys, if a function is not continuous, let me make it sure, if a function is not continuous, then it won't be differentiable. Okay, if a function is not continuous, then it won't be differentiable. But if continuous, then also it might not be differentiable. So basically here what I wanted to say is that if a function is differentiable, then the function must be continuous, or if a function is continuous, or a function to be differentiable, it must be continuous. But if a function if continuous, that doesn't satisfy the condition for it to be differentiable. It can even not be differentiable though being continuous, right? We can show you an example of this. Let's get the mod function fx equals to mod x. Okay, fx equals to mod x, or let it be fx equal, okay, let it be fx equals to mod x itself. Okay, fx equals to mod x. Now let me say that we are finding the left hand derivative. Okay, let it be at x equals to 0. Let's try to find it out at x equals to 0. So basically we have say you have f of x plus h minus f of x over h, and limit h tends to 0 minus. So this becomes mod of x plus h minus mod of x over h. That becomes, so now you cannot put h equals to 0 here because that will evaluate it to an indeterminate form. So putting x equals to 0, now see you have the 0 minus form, right? You have the 0, that means you are calculating the left hand derivative. Now we know that mod x can be converted to a piecewise function as minus x when x less than 0 and x when x greater than 0. You can put equal to sign in any range. Okay. So if we are finding the left hand derivative, then this becomes this see 0 plus h. So mod of x plus h becomes actually minus x plus h. This becomes plus x over h. This gives you 1. Okay, this gives you 1. Sorry, minus 1. This gives you minus 1. Okay, minus h over h. And if you find the right hand derivative, you will find that this becomes x plus h minus x over h, that is equals to 1. So left hand derivative doesn't equal the right hand derivative, hence the function fx equals to mod x is not differentiable at x equal to 0, but fx equals to mod x is continuous at x equal to 0. Okay guys, you can check the continuity yourself. So keep it in mind, if a graph has some sort of a kink or a disturbance, like mod x has a kink like this, okay, at x equals to 0. Suppose if a function has a kink like this, or it may have like something like this, suppose it has a disturbance in its smoothness, then at the point where the disturbance occurs, that particular point the function won't be differentiable. Okay guys, so this is all for today. We have learned differentiability, and so in the next lecture we might be understanding some sorts of application of derivatives, or the Leibniz theorem, or nth derivative, or maybe curvature and so on. So meet you in the next lecture guys.